Hey, my name is Elizabeth Lyons, and this is Behind the Song with my producer, Johnny Fung. Johnny Fung produced 7 of the 9 songs on my album, and he's super talented. He's based in Nashville, and I actually met him in New York City when I lived there, and he worked on 24 with me. We were in the same writing room, and we ended up having him produce the demo for my song 24, and he killed it. And a lot of the sounds and the production that ended up happening on 24 that you heard in the master are because of him. And he really took my idea and my inspiration of what I wanted it to sound, kind of a Maggie Rogers countrified, and really did a great job with it. So when I was thinking about all the songs that I wanted to record and the kind of production I wanted to do for this album, I thought of Johnny. So we're going to invite him to join us. So excited. Hello, hello.
Hey Elizabeth, how you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Doing great.
Good. I just did an intro on you. So
Oh, oh boy.
how are
Ho-
you?
Hopefully you didn't fib too much. I'm great. I'm great. Enjoying the Monday. It's a nice day here in Nashville, so all is well. How are you doing?
Doing well. I'm just so excited. Wait, did I send you the masters?
For some of
No, I don't think. Oh my God. So I got the masters back on Friday night. So
oh,
I'll send them
awesome.
to you.
Yeah, please do.
So everything. So exciting. So yeah, you have just nailed it with everything, and I'm just so happy that we got to work together on this. And so Johnny did 7 of the 9 songs, and from the album. And so I guess I'm going to try to hit a few different things, but let's first talk about how we met. Do you
Okay.
remember?
Yes. So this was it's a funny story. It's I think it's like 2016 or 17, something like that. You were living in New York. I was living in New York at the time. And I don't know the exact connection, but my wife, Tara, and your dad had some kind of meeting. And I think your dad, being a good dad, always promoting you, gave Tara your card. And so Tara then gave it to me, and I was like, okay, because I was looking for more people to work with in New York. And then I eventually hit you up, and the rest is history, I guess.
I know. Yeah, it's so crazy. Yeah, my dad would always carry my business cards around and just like hand them to like anyone that would talk to him about my music, which is so
That's
sweet.
awesome. I love it.
I know. Well, and then we connected and we wrote the song 24,
Right.
which ended up being a single of mine. And you produced the demo, which
Mm-hmm.
nailed it. And, I remember telling you I wanted it to be like Maggie Rogers, but like countrified.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of what people ended up hearing when I produced it with a different Nashville songwriter with the master, I feel like he took a lot of the inspiration from the demo. And so when I was starting to think about producers that I wanted to work with for this album, of a bunch of just songs that I wanted to sound big and have a lot of like cool sounds and unique sounds and still be country, but kind of with more of a pop infused kind of mentality. I was like, Johnny, we have to use Johnny. So yeah, I mean, so let's talk about the album and kind of what the process of. I think we started talking back in June 2020, and
Yep.
we were kind of, you sent me some of the songs that you had done, and you've done stuff for Gabby Barrett, you played on, right? Chase Rice.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of sent you some of my inspiration of songs, and I think like Style by Taylor Swift and Electricity by Dua Lipa had just released her album I was obsessed with, and kind of Ellie Goulding country though, with
Mm-hmm.
Dan and Shay vibes, and yeah, kind of Halsey, Sam Hunt, Chase Rice. And so then I sent you the songs, and you kind of gave feedback on the songs that were your favorite, and then I gave those to you, and yeah, and then I think we kind of recorded like a song per month, right? I mean, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, yeah. It's been I I guess it was June 2020. It's been kind of consistent. We kind of rolled one out at a time. And yeah, we've just kind of been, keeping going. And I think you said I did 7 songs, but I think I actually did 6.
Is it 6?
I did Will.
Oh, you did 6. Yes,
6.
you're right. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I don't want to take credit for a song I did do. So the last X amount of months, we've rolled out 6 songs, and I think they've progressed nicely. And I think through that process, we've found a really cool sound.
Yeah. So, yes, 6 of the 9. I'm sorry. And we started in June, so we kind of did 1 each month. I guess it's been 7 months, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So what has the process been like, I guess, working with me? How would you describe it?
Should I tell the truth? No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
No. You've been obviously a joy to work with. You're very easy. And you told me something, I remember when we started, or as we were going, that I really appreciated, that you pick producers who you really trust and whose sounds you really like, and you just kind of let the producer kind of do his or her thing. And as a producer, I very much appreciate that, because it's so easy to come in as an artist with the hatchet and say stuff like, oh, I want it to sound more blue, not so red, or these really esoteric and heady things, and you just kind of let me do my thing, and that makes me do my job better. So you gave very clear instruction and what you wanted, and let me kind of do my thing for it and with it, and it was super fun.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. Exactly. I mean, I feel like when you let people do their job and you trust them, then that's when people do their best work. And so kind of the process would be, I usually have like more of like a guitar vocal or a piano vocal, and then I send that to Johnny, and then I send a playlist of Spotify songs I want it to sound like, and then kind of sometimes make notes on, like, for instance, like the style Taylor Swift song I loved, like the pads, or like there was a Dan and Shay song I just loved, like the beat, and then there was like the Adam Domiak, the Neon, Neon Fools. I was like, oh, I want like those kind of like banjo-y sounds, and like, so I feel like we kind of for each song like did that, and I wanted a saxophone solo.
Yep.
Which then Johnny had a friend who played on it, but really that was like the only outside musician that played on all these songs, right?
I guess so. I guess I hired mostly myself to do the rest of it. It's a good thing and a bad thing, I think, when producers, not a bad thing, it's different.
A great thing. You're so talented.
Well, thank you. I know for me, I know I'm picky, so I can be picky with myself, and luckily I have a bunch of instruments, as you can see behind, kind of, and so
I remember, so it's kind of interesting because it was coronavirus, we did a lot of things separately and in different places. And actually a lot of the vocals we did in Martha's Vineyard, New Orleans, and in Nashville.
Yep.
And I got to see your studio for the first time when I was in Nashville, and I was blown away by all the pianos and keyboards and guitars and banjos and all the different unique instruments.
Yep.
And it's always so fun. And we recorded the vocal in the closet, and it was so fun, and it was just epic. And the cool thing about I feel like working together too is like I think both creatives, but we're also very really organized and like list oriented. So I think that's why one of the reasons it works, like trying to stay on schedule and which can sometimes be hard with creatives. And I think that's one thing I've really loved with you is like you're just like on it, and we usually are kind of try to make this world that's kind of all over the place regimented in a way.
Absolutely. It's a to me, I mean, it is art and it is creative, but it's also a business, and you gotta have timelines. I don't know how guys don't do it, or guys and gals don't do it. So, and I appreciate you also being more business minded too, because that really helps. And it makes it more fun when you know what you can expect from a collaborator. It just makes the process so much more enjoyable. So I know we're on the same page with that.
Totally. So now I'm going to do just a quick, okay. So Johnny recorded with me, Temporary, Settle Down Chicago, He Could, Edge, Always, and Will.
Yes.
So of those 6, which is your favorite that you think?
Oh, that's a great one. So, oh man, I don't know. So we did He Couldn't Edge last. And so up until that point, I was almost positive that Always would remain my favorite, because I put that's the one with the sax solo and the sax parts that my good friend Adrian Crutchfield recorded. And I put a lot of my heart and energy into that. And it turned out really, really cool, I think. A really cool combination of things. And so I just thought, okay, you know what, that one's going to be my favorite, because I felt like I put my most in that one. But to be honest, Dark Horse at the very end, I actually think The Edge turned out to be my favorite one.
I know.
And I don't know why, because at the end of the project, I know we were kind of crunching to get it done. And it's not like I didn't put my effort in, but I knew that timeline was there, that deadline kind of. And so I was just trying to get it done. And the demo, to be honest, wasn't my favorite song. Probably some of the other ones were my favorite songs. But for whatever reason, in the end of the day, the final product turned out super sick. I don't know why. But it just has a really cool kind of sexy vibe that I didn't really plan. I don't think you really planned either. But it just kind of ended up like that. So just a vibe. I don't know why.
I know. Yeah. Well, I know it's starting off with Always. I mean, I feel like I always wanted it to kind of be like that New Orleans like horns, and just have it be like super like big. And I've always wanted to play the saxophone growing up, and never was able to, because my dad said I played too many instruments, and all the cute boys played saxophone, and I just like love it. And being in New Orleans and spending a lot of time in New Orleans, I just love the horns. And so it was cool that you were able to kind of get that in there. And it's funny, I actually sent the song to the Jonathan Sherwood, who I wrote the song with, and he was freaking out. And he actually wrote a bunch of the songs on this album with me, and that was his favorite too.
Cool.
So yeah. And then I remember also though, I think I got the first mix back from you, and I was like, no, it sounds too much like my old stuff. Like we need to make it feel more modern. And so I kind of challenged you to make it more like dancey, EDM, right? And so you had to I feel like you kind of started all over.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. This is on the real. I didn't know we were gonna get real like this. No. But yeah, so at first, and sometimes things, I interpreted the direction differently, and there's not like a right or wrong. It's just what it is. So I kind of leaned more like on the acoustical instrument side to keep it, because the
country probably,
because that's the whole. It's not a problem. It's a unique challenge with country now, is that anything's kind of country. If you call something country, that's what's country. So the challenge of a producer,
it's like a storytelling. Like the lyrics are really the only thing that are country nowadays. It's like there's so many subgenres of country that it's kind of like, wait, what makes it country? Is like, I guess
exactly. Exactly. So I always, when I do country, I try to emphasize, and we call it, I work with a songwriter here, we call it country insurance, just to make sure it's firmly. So I think I lean too hard in the acoustic stuff, just to make sure it stayed there for you. And then, you gave me your feedback, and, I was like, okay. And I'm a little scrappy sometimes. So I kind of took it with a chip on my shoulder. I said, you know what, I'll scrap it, and I'm going to kill the next one. So you can't even say anything about it. So it was a good, and these are the things that happen when you create, sometimes, these little tensions, but I think it was the right move, obviously. And that was a good executive call on your part, because I think it turned out super cool.
Yeah, no, it was so good. And I remember it was actually we were going for that Motown kind of groovy vibes, and we actually ended up speeding up the song, which kind of created that groove, which was, I think, what you had recommended doing. Was really smart, and it gave it this new energy that really, I think, made it like the song that it is. And I just can't wait to play it live. And it has like a nice pace that still feels country, but kind of dance, almost like that High Horse Casey Musgraves I think we were kind of going for. But bringing it with kind of Don't Start Now with Dua Lipa, and kind of creating that country elements, but in a funky way. And I feel like you kind of have that. Actually, this is such in your wheelhouse with, kind of what you do. And I love your Instagram videos where you're jamming out and create these epic parts that are just so groovy and funky. And the way that you do that throughout all the songs and the production is that you really create this kind of uniqueness, but funkiness, but in a country way, which is what I always kind of like to do So yeah, and then the Edge, I know that was the like I did not really plan on doing that song. Charlie, our friend, Charlie Brennan, who I wrote the Edge with, he kept asking me if I was recording it. I was like, I don't know. And he's like, you gotta have Johnny, produce it. And I was like, I don't know. And then I kept listening to it, and we didn't even do a guitar vocal. It was just like Charlie singing on it and playing guitar when we wrote it, like, and you really made that song come to life. I mean, I was blown away by what it, I really wanted a drop, like a country drop, and it was cool how you did that. And I think you really helped the song really come to life in a way. That song, I didn't really make that many changes. And I remember Will, I don't think I made one change on Will.
Yeah.
I remember I got it back and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I think sometimes usually I'll be like, oh, do we have a better take, like vocally from dictation wise or something? But
Sure.
but, I mean, you killed Will. I remember walking down the beach and I was listening to it and I was like, jumping up and down, and like people were looking at me like, and then kind of talking about vocal, what was it kind of like working with me? I mean, it was somewhat weird. Like, I'd sometimes record vocals with a different vocal engineer, and then sometimes I recorded vocals with you. What am I like? I make a lot of weird noises in the studio.
Yeah. No, it was great. It is kind of weird to produce a vocal that you did not record. It's just a weird thing. It's like working with a vocal just in general is such a, it's definitely the most, like, not intimate, that's not the right word, but
yeah, no, it is
detail oriented part of a pop or pop, I mean pop like general, but like, vocal record.
Pop country record, yeah.
And so, but the stuff you sent me was great to work with, because you sent me Plenty of Takes. Honestly, a lot of the songs that you kind of comped yourself with the engineer in there, I kept probably 80% of that.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because you guys made the right choices. Just a couple things that, just at me as an outside observer.
Yes.
I just thought, okay, maybe this word is better here, that kind of thing. And I guess that is an advantage of having, now I'm thinking about it, me not producing the vocal in the room, because then I can be more objective once I get the full take. So that is a good thing. And I think it worked out really, really well.
It worked out so well. And I think on those really raw songs like He Could and Settle Down, Chicago, and Temporary, where the vocal was really raw because it was a pretty stripped back, thing, with Temporary, it was basically, a very simplified production.
Sure.
The piano, and then we built it on that with Settle Down, with having more of like the beat, which was totally your direction, which I'm so happy you steered me away from doing. And I think you even changed some of the chords on that one to make it more was it futuristic or more current, I guess.
Yeah.
And then with He Could, making it feel cinematic, because one of the things with all the songs, I wanted piano to be a big part of every production, and I think you did a nice job with creating that throughout all the songs, but in their own unique way, and having them each sound different. And then background vocals obviously are a huge thing too. With you created some of the background vocals, and then we worked with Darby Patterson and Martha's Vineyard, who recorded with Phil DeRosa, and they would send us the tracks, and they were great to work with. And I feel like it was such a God moment that we met them. Darby's great to work with, particularly for you, I think, because I remember the first time I heard her background vocals, I thought it was you singing. I know.
Or maybe she can mimic other people's voices really. I wouldn't be surprised. She's a really great vocalist.
Yes.
But her voice sounded so similar to yours, but just different enough where it made for really, really good, like texturally really good backgrounds. And so she was great to work. And Charlie sang on The Edge, which was really cool.
Oh, yes. That was awesome to have him. I'm obsessed with his voice. Like, both Darby and Charlie, I love like soft, just like voices that have like the tone kind of like mine,
Sure.
And we were so lucky to work with both of them, and you made them sound so awesome. So I think the only other question I have for you, I think we've talked about everything, is what was your favorite moment or like your funniest moment you had working with me? Like,
Funniest.
yeah.
Let's see. Let's see.
I'm throwing you for a loop here.
Funniest. Okay. Let me give me 10 seconds.
I know. I'm trying to think because I mean I feel like we've talked for like whether it was texting or emailing over this.
Yeah. So much has been like digital communication. Well, certainly when you were here, so I recorded the vocals for Settle Down Chicago and Always.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So yeah, when you were here, obviously every singer is hilarious to work with. I'm not much of a singer myself, so I don't empathize. But when singers get into the booth, they do the funniest things, and your noises, as you aforementioned, were cracking me up. I really wanted to, because I have some of them, you know, like just from, you know, before the takes or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it was pre-rolling, and I really wanted to take them and sample them and make them into ear candy. But I as kind of like an Easter egg, you know, as an inside joke. But I did not do that. But certainly hearing your sounds and everything were just cracked me up as I was recording you. And we had a great time in the studio. I think my dog was here for a little bit, Coltrane.
Yes,
And so it was fun to actually, you know, work in the room with you because, you know, like we talked about, especially in COVID, but really in general and how music is made now, so much of it is independent and isolated. That's just the way it is. It's not a good thing or a bad thing. I don't think it's just what it is. So just you being in the room and us being able to catch up and have fun was
yeah, I agree. That was one of my favorite moments. And I feel like I was always bringing my Diet Pepsis and burping with my eating too much probably beforehand. And I know, well, maybe I know you're super busy, but like that would be so funny to hear that. I'm sure everyone would like to hear that. And I always have weird things that I say or like habits of things that day that it's just hilarious.
Sure.
So you're not the only one who thinks that. Previous people I've worked with have edited them together. I have to say I didn't swear as much with you though, I feel like, which I was very proud of myself. I feel like
yeah, you were on good behavior. Well, you were in the South, so you probably had to.
Yeah, exactly.
We're in the Bible Belt here in Nashville, so
I brought the Southern charm. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm so happy and honored that we got to work together, and you completely are just so talented. I remember I even asked you for the charts, and you're like, "Oh, I don't even write out the charts; it's all in your head," which is incredible. And so thank you so much for all your time and energy and hard work you put into this. You guys be sure to follow Johnny on all social media, and I'll put his links below. And you guys be sure to check out the album and let us know what your favorite song is in the comments. And if you have any more questions for us, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much, Johnny. Hopefully I'll see you soon.
Great talking to you. Peace.
Okay, bye.
Bye.